Forged by the fires of our trials, refined by God's craftsmanship.
Hey, welcome to the Virilis podcast. I'm here with Tony. Tony is someone who's faced a lot in his life and has overcome many battles, and now he's giving back and helping those who has faced similar situations that he faced, and helping them overcome them in his ways. So, Tony, thanks for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So, Tony, let's go as far back as we can. Let's go into your childhood. What was your childhood like?
My childhood. So I was pretty much born and raised in the east side of San Jose. I grew up in a broken home where my mom was all I had. I didn't really have a big family, so it was just me, my mom, and my pops. My pops left us at a young age, and he made multiple attempts to try to come back into my life, but it was never a good experience. I just had so much deep resentments towards him that I just never really was receptive to his love and attempts to try to be a dad in my life.
Yeah, that's a perfectly normal reaction to being left at a young age. So you faced a lot of things outside the home as well. And there are, well, before we did the interview, you actually we were talking a little bit, and I found this really adorable phrasing you used to describe your younger self. Do you remember what you called yourself?
No, I don't.
You said you were little Tony. So tell me about little Tony. What was he like?
So pretty much like since Pops was never there, my mom was always working and stuff like that, and on top of that, she was dealing with the gambling addiction. And if anybody knows anything about gambling, you could already imagine how absent she was physically, you know. So pretty much, little Tony was pretty much, there was really no one really at home to be there with little Tony, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I think I felt like it just caused me to lack a sense of belonging. And naturally, in high school, I started seeking that sense of belonging in the gang street lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, following that led me into getting deeper into drugs and alcohol, which at first, it was all fun and games. It was always, it was just something that everybody did for fun and over the, just to party over the weekends and stuff like that. And eventually, it just progressed.
Mm-hmm.
Towards becoming my biggest downfall, my addiction.
Mm. Yeah, so there's a lot between just starting to drink and then your downfall. But somewhere in between starting doing that and your downfall, little Tony became big Tony. So is there a moment when you can consciously point out oh, that's when I'm an adult now?
I remember growing up, I always, as a youngster, probably around 14, 15, I always felt like I wanted to grow up so fast, and now that I'm grown up, I look back I don't want to grow up too fast at all anymore. I just want to,
Yeah,
I want to go back to being a youngster, if anything.
yeah.
But, just not really having too much growing up, it caused me to... I felt like it caused me to be in survival mode and had to grow up fast and had to do whatever, in my mind, do whatever it takes to provide for me and my mom's.
Yeah, man.
And eventually that led to me just running in the streets, started selling drugs and doing crime and continuously going in and out of jail every single year for the past 16 years.
Mm.
I got some type of membership there,
You're getting points.
I got that's just the equation. You do crime, you do wrong, and you get locked up for it. There's some consequences for it, and with that, doing time, it takes me away from even being there for my mom or my family at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As much as I think I think that I'm being there for them, I'm really not. I'm really being absent myself.
Mm-hmm.
during extensive time over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you needed a sense of belonging, and you sort of found that belonging in the street life. How did you get connected to the street life? You don't have to name names or
So
affiliations or anything.
it
Just
pretty much just started in high school. You know, it was a group of friends that I started hanging around with, and we just pretty much uh, that was my group. You know, that was my gang. Um, that's that's who I found love and acceptance in. They showed me nothing but love and acceptance, and that's where I found that. And I feel like inside, deep down inside, that's what I was lacking at home.
hmm. So uh, tell me about the first time you like went out with them, and tell me about like if you ever felt peer pressure to do anything, or what was that?
I
Anything like
don't
that?
think I don't know. I don't know if like, well, you know, naturally, looking up to the older homies, I always wanted to do what they were doing. You know, so it was never really peer pressure. It was
Mhm.
always something that I wanted to do. I
Mhm.
wanted to, you know, earn my stripes. I wanted to make a name for myself, and I wanted to earn their respect. So it pretty much everything that I did. It was at the end of the day, it was what I wanted to do.
Right. Yeah. Um,
Of course, at the time, you know, me at that age, what I wanted to do, it wasn't really good.
yeah.
You know.
Well, back then when you were that age, was it like something you were aware of what you were doing wasn't good?
You know what? I felt like um, I always knew it was bad
Mm.
because I always knew what I was doing was bad. It was just the love and acceptance that I got from them and the respect that I got from them. It overpowered any type of conviction that would tell me that it's this is not the right thing to do. You know,
Yeah.
even my mom showing up at the jail, visiting me, you know, telling me like, you know, she wants me to change and stuff like that. And as much as I do love her, and um, you know, it was I felt like that was where I belonged. You know, I felt like this is the life that I belonged in. This is what I was meant to do. You know,
Hmm.
because I didn't do good in school, or I didn't really do good academically or anything like that, or in sports. So that's what I pretty much gave my all to, and I felt like that was where, um, you know, that's where I felt like I was good at.
Yeah. That you needed that sense of belonging.
Right.
Yeah. That's deep, man. So you alluded to it earlier. You're mentioning it was going and it was going and going, and then it just wasn't going anymore. Uh, yeah. About how long until that point, and then what events or what moment kind of hit you like a ton of bricks.
Um, you know, so I started drinking at 14. I started using meth at 16. I started using PCP at 30. All along the way, you know, I would pretty much tell myself a lie that, you know, I didn't have a problem. I didn't have a problem. This is exactly what I want to do. I've always wanted to do it, and I'm doing it. So I never viewed it to be a problem, especially alcohol, because it was so normalized in every barbecue and get-togethers that everybody would do. Everybody was doing it. So like, I never viewed alcohol to be a problem for one. Um, I remember when I was probably like 25, deep into the meth addiction. I was telling myself. I was trying to get into recovery for probably like the third or fourth time, and I was telling myself, you know, I never got locked up for alcohol. I didn't have a problem with the alcohol, so you know. But I think the moment that I said that, that was the time, the moment that it started to become a problem
Mm.
in my life. 'Cause
Hmm.
you know, when you think you don't have a problem with something, you're gonna do it to the fullest, you know.
Hmm.
And that's when it just my life just started spiraling down. I lost multiple cars of mine behind drinking and driving, and you know, going to jail over and over every single year. You you tend to lose everything.
Hmm.
You tend to lose everything. My mom passed away when I was like 25, 24.
Hmm.
And you know, when she was all I had, you know, I didn't really have anybody to like hold my stuff or anything like that. So when I get locked up, everything is gone. Everything, you lose everything over and over and over again, and eventually that leads to coming out of jail. You know, um, with nothing to go to or nowhere to go to, and pretty much homeless. You know,
Hmm.
I've always had friends that I can go to, but uh, anytime that I had tried to get into recovery, I know that it wasn't a good place to go there. So it was kind of conflicting with me. You know, if I go hang out with my boys, I'm gonna be doing the same thing I was doing that
Hmm.
led me to getting arrested and stuff like that. But if I get into recovery, I can't go to my boy's house, so I'm pretty much homeless, looking for, you know, um, program or like some type of place where I can
It's not just
get my life together.
yeah, it's not just a place you're looking for. You need a place where you feel like you belong.
Right. So being homeless is very depressing and miserable feeling.
Hmm.
Of course, after a while, you get comfortable and you kind of just almost embrace it. But like when you really look at it, you kind of ask yourself, do you want to continue to like live like this? You know, and if there's another way out, you know, I would have hopped on it. You know, but for a good 10 years, I was pretty much homeless from 25 to 34. I was pretty much homeless
Hmm.
and out there in the streets, and you know, when you can't find anything better, then you resort back to what you know, and that's
Hmm.
what I did over and over and over again.
Yeah, and what you knew was street life.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, I imagine you didn't have jobs or anything while you're homeless, right?
I would have jobs.
Hmm.
I just never would have been able to hold it longer than a month or two. Um, you know, I would think that getting a job would fix everything. You know, put some money in my pocket, but when you don't have your mind and your heart correctly aligned
Hmm.
um, with recovery and God, um, you're not gonna be able to keep a job.
Right. Yeah.
You're gonna be showing up to work late, drunk. You try to leave work early, and addiction pretty much just prevails over your entire life. Um, you know,
Yeah.
and it carries into your work life.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely something you were facing, especially considering what you'd already been through. Uh, you you said it already, like you went back to what you knew and you didn't know anything else. Um, but you also mentioned you tried like 3 or 4 different recovery centers. Did you finally find one that stuck?
I will say I've had tried a lot of recovery programs, and I want to say about like I want to say none of them were faith based.
Hmm.
They were they never really introduced the idea of any type of God in your life until 2019. You know, I got this opportunity to check out City Team,
Hmm.
and you know that was a City Team is a year long faith based discipleship program, which at first hearing it, it kind of scared me a little bit. You know, um, faith based year long. You know, that's kind of
Intimidating.
it's intimidating for for any addict that wants that doesn't really
Want to change?
right.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the other thing too is there's so many recovery centers that sort of have this mantra of, we'll get you back out there quick, 30 days, and it's the success rate of those programs are so low because you need a lot of time to reorient everything in your life, especially with your faith, what you believe in. So what was different about City Team? Why did you stay?
Um, you know what? Like you said, it was. I think everything that's worthwhile, it really takes time, and just the moment that I walked into City Team, you know, I was just pretty much embraced with hugs and greetings, and like I just felt like this is where I belong, because this is where these people are showing me love and they don't even know my name.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So if this is what faith based and this is what God is about, then I want more of it. You know,
Hmm.
um, going back into the street, thinking back to the streets. I mean, really, like it's chaos, destruction, betrayal, untrustworthy. Now, just a whole bunch of lies. And that's what I felt like I was pretty much just surrounding myself with, and um, coming to the city team, I definitely felt like there was a uh, big change in
Hmm.
the direction that I'm going towards.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm happy you're able to be integrated into that community and felt that love right away. And you're for this time in 2019, did you graduate and all that?
In 2019, I did graduated.
Hmm.
I have also became an intern. I was also working on my KDAC classes, and I was working full time with We Hope, the
Cool.
doing Dignity on Wheels, the shower trucks, and I was able to stay sober for about a year and a half during that time, and during that time, a lot of milestones and achievements were happening, but they were also triggering for me, because during that time I was on probation in two different counties, Alameda County and Santa Clara County, and since I was doing good for like a year and a half, they both had uh, terminated me early, and I think you know with my mindset that I kind of had. I think I was still 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I wasn't all in yet at that time.
Hmm.
I had 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and it pretty much triggered something in my mind that, you know what, now I don't have anybody holding me accountable or chasing me.
Hmm.
I can do whatever I want now,
Hmm.
and I ended up relapsing. I went out pretty bad. I went out for like a good 3 years. Only to find out I did a little bit more research out there, only to find out that um, you know, being in recovery and having God in my life was the best thing that I've ever had. So 3 years later, after my 2 year, 4 year term of doing half of that,
Hmm.
I came out, and the first thing that I went to was the place where I knew where people would love me,
Hmm.
and that's where I can get my life back together. And that's City Team.
Yeah, yeah. I'm happy you came back and tried the program again. So, what was different about this next time you did the program?
So this time I've also graduated, and I've also finally completed the schooling for the KDAC. Um, I think this time I was I was pretty much 2 feet in this time. Just falling off the first time I was at City Team, going back out there, I had realized some things. This is not what I want anymore. Um, and with that, coming into the program this time, I was 2 feet in. 2 feet in, I was all in, and I was willing to give it my all. I was willing to do whatever. I had like the feeling of desperation to wanting to change this time. It was just like, yeah, this is where I need to be. This is what I need to be doing, and my life has just been so great. I get the chance to serve people every day at my job. Even outside of my job, I find ways to be of service at church, or and this time it was the first time I ever got to perform my
Hmm.
music and ministry at a church. And um, just I never could imagine a convict, a person that's just so deep in the streets, to just be performing at a congregation, in front of a congregation at church. That was major to me. I was like, wow, that was just like confirmation that, what, like, good things can happen if I just stick this course and stay connected with God.
Yeah, actually, I want to point this out. Something I noticed about you that's a little different than many people who've gone on your path is your way of giving back. Now, is many different ways, but one way is you perform. Um, you mentioned you performed. Ideally, we'd like to show our audience this clip, but can you describe what you do to our audience? How you are using your artistic abilities to make an impact?
So I mean, pretty much I pretty much used my testimony, um, and combined it with faith, and that's where my lyrics come from. Um, and with that, I turn it into poetry, and with poetry, you can easily turn it into music. And now I'm working on music now. Like I have 4 songs that I have right now on YouTube, and that's something that I use to minister to anybody that cares to listen. Mainly anybody that cares.
So for our audience, can you tell them how can they find you on YouTube?
You can you can find me on YouTube at www.youtube.com/@official Tony N.
Go Tony! Tony!
I'm so greatly inspired and motivated. Regardless of what they said, I'm gonna make it. And all the glory goes to God, and that's all day. Cause he didn't save the broken person, that is why I pray. I love you, God, and that's all day.
I got some demons that be praying on my downfall. Never thought that I could ever make it this far. And I'ma keep on going, gotta stay focused. Working hard and never see another eviction notice. I be praying everybody makes it. I'm loving all my haters, take it how you wanna take it. It's God first, he taught me how to forgive. Cause even if it really hurts, it's the best way to live. I gotta stay on my grind, I gotta go and get mine. So Lord, give me a sign and show me who's on my side. A lot of situations would've made me cold-hearted, but my Lord and Savior said to let it go, departed. To be a better person than I ever was. Cause I am my only competition, who I am and who I was. Every scar that I wear tells the price that I paid. God first in his hands, that is where I lay.
I'm so greatly inspired and motivated. Regardless of what they said,
I'ma make it.
and all the glory goes to God, and
That's all day.
Cause he didn't save the broken person,
That is why I pray.
I love you, God, and
That's all day. So much pain, but God turned it into purpose. He turned my mess into a message. At times I was hurting. In the dark is where I saw the light. Cause the shadow can't exist, yeah, without the light. If God is for us, then who could be against us? Faith on my face, but I didn't even need a mention. Just remember that God is love, so your sermons mean nothing. Oh, if your actions show nothing, love to the ones that be needing love. I had to learn to drop my pride and really talk to God. He put forgiveness on my heart so I can love my ops. And even if I make it to the top, it's still God first, and it won't ever stop.
And that's where you can find my songs at. And I'm getting so many opportunities to share that with the world. Just last week, I got an opportunity to present it to me, and I was asked to go perform in a juvenile hall detention center and perform my music and ministry in there. And that's just mind blowing to me, honestly. Like I'd never thought that I'd be able to do anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
And it's really my that's
No,
to be able to reach the next generation, and
Right.
like it's that's major, because they're gonna be the people that are after us that are gonna be of this world.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's something fascinating to me about you actually. We can we touched about on your recovery journey, but I think your faith journey is incredible too. Because something you were telling me before this interview is that you grew up an atheist, and now you're performing to people who need God most. Like, why to have faith in God? And at what point in your life did you find God, and how did he transform your life?
I don't really think I found God. I think God really found me. I really just had to open up my heart to the idea of God in my life. The moment that I walked into City Team, and just giving Him my all and staying into the Word, and building relationship with Him through prayers and talking to Him more. I started to see the blessings that come from His promises that that this,
You said it, man. You saw the blessings. You have any examples? Any blessings that you saw from God that weren't coming without Him?
well, first and foremost, my sobriety. You know, I would have never been able to do sobriety without God in my life. I've done sobriety and recovery without the God aspect before, and I've always felt still empty, still felt like I was missing a piece of something, still missing a love for others, still missing that piece where they tell you to be in service, just being kind hearted to other people and being honest about yourself, uh, you know, all those things you get from getting into the Word and building a relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the missing piece. Doing for others makes me feel good, to where I'm not really missing that piece, I guess.
Yeah. No, that's true. I think we are from God, like our divine nature.
Most definitely.
Yeah, craves His presence, and I'm happy that God has not only got you back, but also is using you to expand His kingdom in unique ways. Aside from your spoken word and the music you produce, you also work at another organization that helps people. Are you willing to share where you're working?
I started out with Hope on Wheels, and that's we were operating off a food truck and going out to the homeless encampments and making hot meals with them and providing hot meals. And then I transitioned into a job working with We Hope at the shelter over there in East Palo Alto, and pretty much overseeing the shelters over there. I get to
You get to advance His kingdom with your presence. You get to connect with the people you're working with, like that are in the shelters you're helping oversee.
Yeah, most definitely. And I've always got so many opportunities over there to share my faith over there, even though some people might not want to hear it, but some people appreciate it. I feel like God is using me to pretty much be the light to the world and share the love that He gave to me to other people. I've been told that it inspires them, just hearing how I was in their shoes at one point in my life, being homeless, and being able to make it out of that and being able to prosper in life today. And the peace and the serenity that I have, it's just priceless. And I just want more of it. Right now I'm working at an RV lot, which is a little different environment, but it's still being able to serve the homeless community and
Yeah, you definitely had a lot of experience connecting with people with the working with Hope and Wheels and working with We Hope and all that to connect with people. And people are often very judgmental of the unhoused. They tend to label them as all just wanting to be there or anything. So what would you tell the general public that is a common misconception about the unhoused situation?
that they're worthless, that they're invisible, that they will never amount to anything. Just looking at my life, I felt like that. I felt like that, and to be able to make it out of that, I know it's possible. I know change is possible. I know recovery is possible. And you just gotta want it bad enough, And ever since I gave my life to Jesus Christ, and being able to be in service to people like that, I feel like I have a sense of purpose now. I feel like this is what I'm meant to do. This is what I want to do. And this is what He wants me to do.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And one of the amazing things about how God is using you is that He definitely put you through it. So when you talk to people, empathy. Yeah. You can't get like rich kids and tell them to do what you're doing, because people won't listen to them, and they'll inevitably be judgmental. But I have a harder question for you.
Okay.
So
All those questions were hard, but I mean.
all right, this is probably the hardest one. Say you get a time machine and you go back in time. What would you tell little Tony? I know it's a hard
You
one.
are loved.
Wow. Can you say it again? I interrupted you.
I would tell little Tony, you are loved. You know, you don't need to seek approval from the world. You know, seeking approval from God is really all you need to focus on. And if I really don't really regret anything that I've been through or anything that I did, because it really made me who I am today.
Yeah.
You know, all those trials and tribulations that I overcame with God has shaped me into the person that I am, and I wouldn't trade that for anything.
Wow. That's an amazing closing statement from you. Closing statement for me is, Tony, you are loved. No, but like, really though, you're an excellent human being, and you're one of my favorite
Thank
people.
you, Tyler.
Yeah. One of the things I love about you, Tony, is how honest you are. Not just with your words, but your emotions, and how you just wear it on your sleeve. And it conveys honesty, and it was what makes it so easy for people to connect with you. And it makes a huge impact on people's lives. And I really appreciate how you've been bold in putting yourself out there and performing, not just on stage, but on camera, in interviews, spreading your story to make a huge impact on people's lives. It's how I think God designed us to use what the gifts He's given us.
I agree. Well, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, man, and you've been doing that in spades, and not just from me, but also just from the world. I think should thank you for what you're doing, man. So really appreciate you. Any closing remarks from you, sir?
Oh, I mean,
Where can people find you aside from YouTube?
You can find me on TikTok at BChristLike408. I just want to say, stay blessed and, have faith.
I love it, man. What was that? Be Christ-like 408?
Be Christ-like408.
I love that, man. 408 represent San Jose, man. Well, you heard from here today. That was Tony, and you got all his socials. So you're welcome to hit him up or watch any of his videos or be inspired by his work. He's an excellent human being, and more content coming from him. This was the Virilis Podcast. Thanks for listening, guys. Have yourselves a good one.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching the Virilis Podcast.
Yeah, now don't forget, if you like what you have seen here and you want to see more content like this flowing your way, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button on our YouTube channel so you can be notified. Also, we are on Spotify and we have our own website. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating so that way we can get more people involved.
Yes, and if you want more exclusive content, go to our website in the description below. There we have our full unedited podcast devotions, and we also have blueprints. Yes. So what does that mean, Charlie?
So that means that we have blueprints where you can start a group of your own. If you feel compelled to do so, you can download the content and you can contact us with any questions that you would have about starting a group. But in the meantime, goodbye and Godspeed.